Hey guys, Saf here with another Raid Shadow Legends video. So I have some more news for you, which is another preview video for the upcoming features that they released in the What's Next that we had last week. I think it was about last week. We've now got a video featuring just the Awakening and the Blessings mechanic, and also some information about the currencies. So I haven't watched this yet. I'm going to watch it with you for the first time. We're going to go through it. Hopefully we see some more information about the blessings that are in the system and get a better understanding of how it's all going to work. And we can see what we've got. So without further ado, let's jump in the video and let's take a look. Okay, so it's about a 10-minute video. I might jump through a few sections here if it's not relevant. I just want to look at the key mechanics and things they've added since the last video.
Welcome to a new update preview episode. Today, we're going to talk about Awakening, diving a little deeper into some of the things we didn't have time for in our most recent What's Next video. We're also working on a second video covering the Iron Twins Fortress, the boss's skills, and highlighting some tactics and strategies to help take the twins down. But
that would be quite good. I'm pretty sure there's potential for speed tuning because they referenced that there would be no waves. So as long as the boss doesn't do any funky, unpredictable RNG mechanics when it comes to turn meter, we should have a lot of fun with a new turn meter calculatable boss, you know, a new calculator we can build, hopefully.
Right now, we're focusing on Awakening itself. Let's start with the basics. Awakening unlocks at level 42 and is kind of like a mixture.
That's a bit of a random number.
Of Ascension and Masteries. The Awakening part itself is similar to Ascension. You awaken your champions star by star to make them stronger. In fact, one of the only real rules for Awakening is that you can't awaken a champion to a higher Awakening level than their Ascension level.
So it's like a third tier, basically, from what I can see here. You get the legendary champion is unascended, you ascend them all the way up, and then you awaken them with these materials that we will get from the Iron Forge Tower. It doesn't look like Awakening itself gives you any stats. I think it's just going to unlock the features of the blessing.
So, you awaken them, then what? Here's where you'll find the similarity to Masteries. Once you awaken a champion, you can choose a blessing for them. These are like super-powered passive skills that can completely transform how you use a champion, unlocking new levels of potential or altering what they do entirely. Each blessing belongs to a specific divinity. For now, there are 4: Light, Dark, War, and Chaos. As soon as you awaken a champion, you get to pick any blessing you.
Whenever this champion attacks, each hit has a chance to place a smite debuff. So we're getting a new debuff here. I know there was sheep in the last one. We also had a few other debuffs to do with some lightning orbs that looked like it was some sort of protection set. Champions under smite will be hit by a meteorite whenever they use an active skill. The meteorite inflicts damage equal to 25% of the champion's max HP and will also inflict damage to all other enemies equal to 5% of their max HP. The debuff disappears after the meteorite hit. Only one smite. It cannot be blocked, removed, resisted, or transferred. Okay, that's interesting, because if it can't be blocked, does that mean it works on Stone Skin? Granted, the Stone Skin should then reduce the incoming damage. It'll be interesting to see how this works, but 25% of a champion's max HP is quite a lot for someone like Mountain King, Ursuga, some of your tanks of the arena. That could be really interesting.
You want. No questions asked. Well, within reason. Like champions, blessings have rarities. So rare champions can only get rare blessings. Epic champions can choose rare or epic blessings. And legendary champions have access to everything.
So my fear with this is, are we going to index too heavily into legendaries and create a bigger gap between epic and legendary champions? It's already quite a big chasm with empowerment. Are we just going to make it worse? Like, it's all good that we make legendaries the highest value champion in the game. I agree. But we don't want to do it so much that the epics and rares cannot compete, at least with some of the roles and aspects that they do. So that'll be interesting to see how they've balanced it. My fear is very much that the legendaries are going to get bonus effects that the epic and rares will not.
Still, once you've awakened a champion, you don't have to do anything else to actually unlock their available blessings. However, you can make all the blessings stronger by awakening your champion to higher levels. Every blessing gets better as a champion's awakening level increases, from improving the stat bonuses to unlocking entirely new effects and abilities. The best part? It's all tied to your champion's awakening level. You don't have to upgrade each blessing individually. If you have a champion at level 5, they'll get the level 5 benefits.
Bone armor, another buff by the looks of it.
Of any blessing they choose. Simple. You can also swap blessings at any time. Just like Masteries, the first change is completely free, but after that, it's going to cost you some
300 gems. That's a bit expensive if You know, really, I'd want that to be about 100 or 150. Like, you can fully redo your masteries for 150, and you wouldn't do that often. That would be if you're moving them to be playing a completely different area, like you're moving them from PvP to PvE or vice versa. 300 for something as, you know, it basically means it's not dynamic. You kind of fix your blessing, and then you're kind of fixed into it, because 300 is just so expensive for you to change that. You can't do it dynamically and change it up. So I'm feeling like that needs to be adjusted down already. Maybe like 100 would be better, or 50. I'm not against there being a charge for this swapping, but 100%, like 300 is way too expensive.
Any blessing available from any divinity, but switching blessings within the same divinity will be slightly cheaper than changing their divinity entirely. Now, let's have a look at some of the blessings themselves, starting with one of our coolest blessings, Polymorph. This is a legendary blessing from the Chaos divinity.
So I'm told this is like a rip-off of the World of Warcraft polymorph effect. I haven't played World of Warcraft, believe it or not, so I wasn't aware. It's a bit dumb. I'm actually not a fan of this thing, because it doesn't feel like it fits within the lore at all. It feels like someone made a bit of an April Fool's joke in the game, personally.
And it does deliver on the Chaos front. Whenever any enemy places a debuff on a champion with this blessing, or steals or removes one of their buffs, there's a chance they'll receive a little debuff themselves. Only it's not a normal debuff, like an attack or defense decrease. They're going to get turned into a sheep and lose access to every single one of their skills. There's only a 5% chance of this happening at level 1, but if your champion is fully awakened all the way to level 6, you're going to have a 20% chance of turning potentially any champion into a sheep for 2 turns. And if you're wondering what life as a sheep is like, well, any champ that's been sheepified will only be able to use a single sheep skill. They'll charge forward, attack one enemy.
So yeah, that's just like an ally attack by the looks of it, because the text came up. So I guess if there are other sheeped people, they're going to attack, and then I would imagine there's a chance, I guess, that it can fall off if you attack or something like that.
Survival Instinct is a rare blessing from the Chaos divinity that can really turn a situation on its head. When an enemy uses a skill that places, spreads, or transfers a debuff onto a champion with this blessing, it's going to boost that champion.
Now that's actually quite insane, because there are certain champions in the game, such as Yoshi, such as Candrathon, such as Herndig's, another of those champions, where they will gain turn meter passively based on what the enemy does. Countess Lix, for example, and it can really catch you out in terms of a speed team, because you're not really that aware, because it happens so silently. This Survival Instinct is a bit like that, and I mean, it depends if it's additive, but if it is additive, you're talking, what fills this champion turn meter by 7 to 9, that's like 13% if a debuff happens on them, or 10% there. It may not be additive, maybe it's just a 10%. I think more than that would be too much, but maybe it just replaces. And you also get speed +5. And as I mentioned before, like this buffing of legendary champions, they get double the benefit. So it feels like these mechanics are going to be much stronger on legendary champions than epic and rare, which is a concern. But yeah, filling your turn meter by 10% whenever this happens is actually quite strong from a PvP setting.
Champion's turn meter. It's an amazing blessing to make your champions interrupt your opponent's turn order and ruin their day. And here's another one. Carapace decreases the damage a champion takes while under a bunch of crowd control debuffs, like stun, freeze, fear, or even petrification. On top of that, it also provides...
Okay, so it decreases damage received by 30%, and there's an extra 5 for legendary champion if they are CC'd. Pair that with the actual mastery you get, that's another 10%, and you pair it with something like Candrathon's passive, that's a lot of damage reduction. Pair it with Strengthen. That could be an incredible amount of damage reduction. You might not kill a champion, even without Stone Skin.
Provide some sizable boosts to the champion's HP, resistance, and speed, making them far better equipped to make it through enemy stun locks in the arena or in those tough boss battles. And remember, these last 2 blessings are rare, so it's not just the top-tier champions that will be getting some serious benefits from blessings.
So the rare is just what I would say as strong as something being legendary, so that's probably going to make these legendaries much stronger than those rares.
All right, we've taken a detailed look at 3 blessings from the Chaos divinity, but let's quickly highlight a few blessings from the other divinities too, starting with the War divinity. Life Harvest increases the champion's turn meter whenever an enemy is revived and destroys a portion of that enemy's max HP for good measure, making them weaker every time. Chainbreaker helps champions break free from crowd-controlled debuffs. Commanding Presence boosts your team's aura.
So it boosts your aura. If multiple champions on the same team, only one will work. If champions on the same team have both intimidating, only intimidating will work. So intimidating must be another mastery somewhere. But that increases your team's aura by 7.5% on 3. So is that going to go up to 15 or 20%? If you're running like a Myth Fu or some sort of aura team in Clan Boss, this could help you save quite a lot of speed. It could help a lot of people in the early or to mid or to sort of early late game who don't necessarily have the capacity to build 300 speed champions. This could be quite strong. Or if you want to use attack percentage to get more stats in the arena, more speed, this command and presence could be one of the best blessings in the game for certain champions.
And Hero's Soul boosts a champion's damage against bosses.
Increases the damage inflicted to bosses and their minions according to the number of living enemies. Oh lord, that's going to be Spider Queen crazy numbers, isn't it?
According to the number of enemies in battle. It'll be huge for the Spider's Den. Next up, Light Divinity, the Do-Gooders. The Lightning Cage.
Whenever an enemy receives a buff or has their turn meter filled, places 1 lightning orb. When activated, a lightning orb stacks randomly protects one other active buff from being removed, stolen, or transferred. After activation, the lightning orb stack disappears. A champion can have 3 lightning orbs at one time. Whenever a champion with 3 lightning orb stacks hits enemy targets, inflicts bonus damage to them based on their max HP. Bonus damage can occur on each hit of the skill, but does not count as an extra hit. After the bonus damage is applied, all active lightning orb stacks are removed from this champion. So it'd be interesting what it means by activated here. And this bonus damage is probably not going to be that substantial. It's probably going to be a bit like excess damage where it does a little bit on the side. It probably won't crit. It probably won't do that. Whether it ignores defense or not, I don't know. But that's quite interesting. You basically get in a proactive protection set. I'm not entirely like where you can go and protect a buff that's already been placed. That's interesting.
Blessing protects your buffs and boosts your damage with lightning balls. Heaven Cast makes your default skill ignore some of your enemy's resistance.
Ignore 20% of the target's
for those
resistance.
with key debuffs on their first.
40% of the target's resistance. I mean, if you've got a strong A1 debuffer, decrease defense, decrease attack, you know, think of Nekmo Thar. He needs 40% less accuracy, effectively, to be able to place his decreased attack. That's insane. That's very, very strong.
Skill. And here's one of my favorites. Miracle Heal helps recover some destroyed HP whenever the Blessed Champion heals. Excellent for bringing into Hydra battles. And finally, the Dark Divinity. As you'd expect, they're not manipulating rainbows. Take Ward of the Fall.
Starts each round with a number of bone armor stacks. Each bone armor stack decreases the damage the recipient receives from a single hit, then disappears. A champion can have a maximum of 3. High Awakening. This High Awakening, I think, is going to be like low, medium, and high. Medium being 3, high being 6. So you need to be fully 6 to get this bonus. Deals bonus damage to each enemy hit by the champion. The number of times bonus damage is inflicted on each target is equal to the number of dead allies. Bonus damage is proportional to this champion's attack. So this is not going to be useful for defense. So it's very much a squishy kind of how to protect your squishy champion. Adds one bone armor stack for each instance of bonus damage inflicted.
Fallen. It gives you special bone armor to protect you from attacks, then gives you more as your allies perish around you. At the highest level, you'll even summon undead skeletons to charge at your enemies. It's awesome.
Cool.
The Lethal Dose Blessing then increases the damage you deal from poison debuffs in the arena, and
I'll be honest, that sounds rubbish.
Ignore some of the enemy's resistance while you're at it. If that doesn't sound painful enough, the Cruelty Blessing destroys some of your enemy's defense, making them far, far easier to hurt.
If multiple champions have this blessing, still cannot decrease a single champion's defense by more than 40% or decreases a boss defense by more than 20%. Decreases target defense by 1% per hit up to 10% for champions or 5% on that first one. So that basically is like a destroy set for defense. Again, that's quite powerful. You think of Clan Boss, it's got low defense. If you can really chip away at that, that's kind of strong. Obviously for arena, like it stacking will not be so good because, you know, you don't really want a fast arena fight. But for maybe some go second, potentially it could be interesting. But for PvE over long fights, Clan Boss, Hydra, chip away 40% reduction in defense is a lot of damage. It's a lot more. That's very powerful.
Hurt. All right, that's a super quick fly-through of a few of the coolest blessings. Keep an eye on our social channels for more. Now you know why you want to awaken your champions. Let's talk about how.
Yes, we want to awaken them because those blessings look extremely powerful.
It all starts here at the Altar of Souls. Well, kind of. It actually starts at the Iron Twins Fortress. That's where you'll beat the Iron Twins to earn the soul coins you'll need to start the awakening process. But we're making a dedicated video on the twins later, so we'll ignore them for now. Okay. Now, imagine, you're the best. You crush the Iron Twins. You've got all the soul coins in the world. Time to get your hands on champion souls and awaken some champions.
So what I want to point out here is you can see what blessings are being used on the combat, which means we'll be able to see them before we go into the battle. This is like stage 2, so we're getting only 70 coins, 4 key. We got out of 6 keys here, so maybe we only get 6 keys a day. So that gives us kind of some information around, like, you know, we definitely could see the blessing. That was the main complaint from the last video I had was, oh my god, RNG, how are we meant to know what's going on? We're going to know what blessings you're facing, so you can do things to try and counteract those blessings.
To start, let's recap a few rules. Only rare, epic, and legendary champions can be awakened.
Yep.
And each champion needs their own souls.
Sorry,
you can't
Knight.
awaken Venus with Valkyrie's souls, for example. Another big thing to remember is that your ascension level matters for awakening. Champions can't be awakened to a higher level than their current ascension level. To make it easy to track, your awakening level is indicated with a fashionable red color. Okay, so souls. There are 2 types of souls, perfect souls and split.
So that color is actually quite important, because if you can see that they've got, say, the bone armor blessing and then they're 6-star, then you know you're going to get the highest level of bone armor blessing that there is, all the perks.
Souls. Perfect souls let you awaken your champion to the exact level indicated by the number of stars they have without any extra steps or requirements. If you're lucky enough to find a 6-star perfect soul for Valkyrie, you can fully awaken her in a single step. Split souls. Split souls, on the other hand, awaken your champions 1 level at a time. For example, if you find a 5-star split soul, you'll only be able to use that on champions that have already...
So you're going to want perfect souls over split souls, ideally.
...reached level 4 of awakening. Now let's talk about getting those souls. Perfect souls are the most flexible and powerful, so you'll want to get your hands on as many of these as possible. The main way is by summoning them with soul stones, which always gives you perfect souls. And to get soul stones, you'll need to head to the Mystic Market and...
Are you confused yet? Because I already am. So we need to get coins, which are going to give us currency to get souls, or soul stones, which we're going to use to then get souls, and then we either get a perfect soul or a split soul.
Use the soul coins you've earned from beating the Iron Twins. There are 3 soul stone types: mortal, immortal, eternal. The better the...
I've noticed there's 3 soul coin types here as well: silver, gold, and I guess like ready gold, platinum. Why we have to make these kind of tiered systems? I guarantee you, if you can't get past stage 7, you're not going to be able to get the higher ones, which means you're not going to be able to get eternal soul stones, and you're going to be capped. It's so dumb. Just make it 1 currency that I get from the Twin Towers, and then make it so that I need to have 3 times as much. Why do I have to have a completely different currency? It just makes it more complicated.
The soul stone, the better your chances of receiving top-tier souls, meaning higher level souls for higher rarity champions. You can see the breakdown on screen right now. Summoning souls using soul stones requires silver in addition to the soul stones themselves, and the process is similar to summoning champions from shards, so you should get used to it in no time. As an added bonus here, you'll be able to constantly upgrade your stockpiles of soul coins through using soul stones. For example, if you use 10 mortal soul stones, you'll receive 200 immortal soul coins. You can also get some...
Okay, I see what this is going to do. It's going to give you the upgraded token for the one you need to consume by the looks of it.
Eternal soul coins by using immortal soul stones.
So it's a bit like a mercy system built in here, in the sense you're going to get some extra currency after using a certain amount of soul stones. Bit complicated, but okay.
It's a nice, easy ladder that means you can get high-tier soul stones just for summoning souls. But that's not all. As you know, there are hundreds of champions in Raid, and getting the right soul for the right champion sounds like it could take a while. So we've got something to help speed that process up. Introducing the wish list. You'll get to choose 9 champions to add to your list. Then your odds of summoning perfect souls for those champions from soul stones will be doubled. Simple, no strings attached. So that...
Keep in mind with the wish list, it sounds great, but it's still double out of potentially 200 legendary champions that you could possibly get. It's still not crazy odds. It's a bit like times 10. It sounds like it's really good, but actually it doesn't really give you that much more now because the volume is really high. Really, we should have this in more places, but it's good that it's there, I guess. It's not crazy, but it's better than nothing.
covers perfect souls, but what about split souls? You can get split souls from the Soul Merchant, but instead of using soul stones, you'll be exchanging soul essence.
Why is there another currency? This is so confusing for new players. There's too many currencies for something that should be simpler.
You can either find soul essence by raiding the Iron Twins Fortress or by buying it with soul coins. Fortunately, the advantage of the Soul Merchant is that you get to pick and choose which souls you want. The merchant has souls of every level and rarity, but the merchant's stock changes all the time. You'll need to stop by regularly and see what's in stock. To make it even more appealing, the merchant...
Isn't it a bit weird that there's twice as many, as like 50% more epics than there is legendary? Whether this changes and there's more legendary sometimes, I don't know, but 4 slots for the legendary, which is probably what you're going to want to get more than the epic, seems a bit unfair. Keep in mind with the odds here, it's got to be the right star for the right champion, and there's only 4 slots. It's going to repeat probably every 12 hours, maybe every 24. So the chances of you finding things that are valuable from this shop is actually quite low.
Merchant likes to make sure they have what you're looking for, so you'll never get a split soul that's of a lower level than what you need. For example...
Okay, that's good. So it basically guarantees that you're going to get something higher than what you've already got. That's nice.
If you have a Valkyrie at level 3 of Awakening, the next split soul you see for Valkyrie will be level 4. And if a champion hasn't been awakened at all, you might even see a few level 1 perfect souls as well.
So I wonder if that means that they're only going to give you like legendary fragments in your shop based on the champions that you actually have. If that's the case, this is actually quite good, because at least then you can target your champions only. It might not help if you've got all the epics in the game, but if you've got few or limited souls, that might be better. And obviously if you're not hoarding rares anymore like myself, then you should only get like the ones for your rares that you use, like Ares, for example.
Bottom line,
that's quite good.
When it comes to the Soul Merchant, make sure you check in regularly to catch the souls you need. Those are all the ways to get souls, but once you have them, you'll need to know where to access them. This one's easy. Head to your soul collection. It functions pretty much the same as your champions collection, where you can expand it if you need more slots. Oh, and one...
Wait, what? Expand it if I need more slots? No. Don't charge us like lots and lots of gems and silver to expand this if we need to. Like, I hope that's just a passing comment, because if I have to spend 500 plus gems expanding my soul collection and then 300 gems to swap my souls, like, that's not a good system.
One big thing to remember, you can always sell any souls you don't want to get some more soul coins. This way, nothing's wasted, and you get to start the hunt for souls again. And that's everything.
But if you look at how many coins here, 96, like that's not a substantial amount for 36 souls sold. Now that could just be because they're rare, so we'll have to see what the conversion rates are here as to whether or not you should ever do that. But it's nice that there is a system that you can burn useless souls into some currency.
Everything. Keep an eye out for that dedicated dungeon guide we've promised, and click like, subscribe, and hit the notification.
Okay, so that was good. That was more interesting. What I'm taking away from this, blessings are incredibly powerful. Awakening is going to be essential, but using the right blessing at the right time is going to be important. So we're going to have to work hard on hellhades.com to try and bring you information and advice on what blessing to use. I'm not too happy with how expensive it is to swap blessings, because I might want to change up my blessings more regularly, depending on whether it's a reset window for arena, whether or not I want to use it on a specific boss. That feels a little bit too high a price. But the system looks really good. It's going to shake the game up. It's going to move things that have been stagnant for a while into a different way. I quite like it. Some of those blessings sound really, really strong, so we'll have to look at how balancing works, and it could make legendary champions even more obnoxious. But otherwise, I'm quite happy with what I'm seeing here. I'm really looking forward to it, and I would say it looks quite complete. I can't imagine we're that far away from this coming out. So I think I'll probably need to do a video in the coming week on how we can prepare for it as best we can. We might need to wait a week for the Iron Tower. That might be very important, because we'll need to know how to beat that boss. But in the meantime, let me know in the comments below what you think about this video, these systems. Are you more comfortable now that you've got more information? Are you still negative, or are you even more positive than you were before? We do like hearing your thoughts. If the first time you've watched our channel, please give the video a like, and of course subscribe to our channel. We just hit 10,000, which is a huge milestone. We wanted to do that by the end of the year. We did hit it earlier, which is great. And of course, if there is any more information coming out of Raid, I will give it to you as soon as possible. But in the meantime, I will catch you in the next video.